What if the biggest reason you're not making money in the market has nothing to do with your strategy? Most traders spend years searching for the perfect setup, the perfect indicator, or the perfect entry, never realizing they're trying to solve the wrong problem. The uncomfortable truth is that two people can take the exact same trade, at the exact same time, with the exact same chart, and one walks away with consistent profits, while the other keeps repeating the same painful mistakes. So what creates the difference? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, and it's definitely not having access to secret information. It's something happening inside the mind long before a trade is ever placed. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how profitable traders think differently under pressure, why fear quietly controls decisions even when you believe you're being logical, and how small mental shifts can completely change the way you approach risk, confidence, and consistency. But here's the part most people never hear. The deeper you go, the more you'll realize that success isn't built by predicting the market. It's built by mastering yourself. And the final lesson in this journey is the one that separates people who chase profits for years from those who finally create lasting consistency. Miss that final chapter, and you'll miss the single idea that connects everything you've learned. As you watch, pay attention to the moments that challenge your own beliefs, because those moments often become the turning points that change everything. If one idea resonates with you, leave a comment sharing the biggest mindset shift you've experienced. And if you're committed to becoming the kind of trader who thinks differently while everyone else reacts emotionally, subscribe and join this journey, because what you're about to discover could change far more than the way you trade. It could change the way you make every important decision in your life. Chapter 1. Why most traders lose before they ever enter a trade. Imagine two traders opening the exact same chart. The candles are identical. The price is identical. The opportunity is identical. Yet one trader walks away calm, disciplined, and consistent, while the other ends the day frustrated, confused, and emotionally exhausted. What changed? Not the market, the mind. Most people believe trading begins the moment they click the buy or sell button. In reality, every trade starts much earlier. It starts with the beliefs, expectations, and emotions you carry before the market even opens. Think about it. If you expect every trade to be a winner, every small loss feels like a personal failure. If you believe you must recover yesterday's losses today, every decision becomes heavier. And if your confidence depends entirely on your last result, your emotions will rise and fall with every candle on the screen. This is where the cycle begins. Fear creates hesitation. Hesitation creates missed opportunities. Missed opportunities create frustration. Frustration creates impulsive decisions. Then impulsive decisions create even bigger losses. The market didn't create this cycle. Your reactions did. Now picture a professional pilot preparing for takeoff. Before the plane leaves the runway, every system is checked. Every procedure is followed. Nothing is left to emotion or guesswork, because the pilot understands that preparation determines performance. Trading works the same way. The people who survive for years are not the ones who feel fearless. They are the ones who prepare so well that fear no longer controls their actions. That preparation isn't only technical, it's psychological. Before entering a trade, ask yourself a different set of questions. Am I following my plan? Am I trying to prove something? Am I reacting to the market or responding with discipline? These questions seem simple, but they reveal something powerful. Every honest answer exposes the difference between emotional trading and intentional trading. Here's something most beginners never realize. The market doesn't care about your hopes, your opinions, or the amount of time you've spent studying. It simply reflects collective behavior. Trying to force the market to agree with you is like trying to control the weather. The moment you stop fighting uncertainty, your decisions become clearer. You stop chasing every move. You stop fearing every pullback. You stop treating every trade as a verdict on your intelligence or your worth. Instead, each trade becomes just one decision in a much longer journey, and that single shift changes everything. Because the greatest battle in trading is never against the market. It's against the version of yourself that needs every trade to prove you're right. And once you begin winning that battle, you're finally ready to discover the mindset shift that transforms how every future decision is made. Chapter 2. The mindset shift that changes every decision. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest with two paths in front of you. One promises quick rewards, excitement, and instant gratification. The other is quiet, uncertain, and demands patience. Almost everyone chooses the first path. The few who build lasting success choose the second. Trading presents this choice every single day. Every flashing candle, every sudden breakout, and every dramatic headline whispers the same message. Act now or you'll miss your chance. And that's exactly how emotional decisions are born. The fear of missing out is one of the strongest forces in human psychology. It convinces intelligent people to abandon their plans within seconds. Suddenly, a trade that wasn't part of the strategy feels impossible to ignore. Logic disappears, and emotion takes control. But here's the surprising part. The market isn't testing your ability to predict price. It's testing your ability to stay committed to your own rules. That changes everything. When you stop treating trading like a race and start treating it like a process, your perspective begins to shift. Winning no longer means making money on every trade. Winning means making decisions you can repeat tomorrow, next week, and next year. Think about a professional athlete. Champions don't judge themselves by a single game. They trust years of preparation. They understand that one mistake doesn't define a career, and one victory doesn't guarantee future success. Great traders think the same way. Their confidence doesn't come from the outcome of one trade. It comes from knowing they followed a proven process, regardless of whether that individual trade ended in profit or loss. This is where real discipline is born. Discipline isn't forcing yourself to trade. Discipline is refusing to trade when the opportunity doesn't meet your standards. That difference is enormous. Every time you say no to an emotional impulse, you're strengthening a habit that compounds over time. Every patient decision builds trust in yourself. And self-trust is far more valuable than temporary confidence created by a lucky win, because luck fades. Habits remain. Eventually, something remarkable happens. The market no longer controls your emotions. Price movements stop feeling personal. You begin to observe instead of react. You become curious instead of anxious. And for the first time, your decisions are guided by clarity rather than urgency. That is the mindset shift most people spend years searching for without realizing it isn't hidden inside a chart. It's hidden inside the way they think. But even after developing this new perspective, one invisible obstacle still remains. It's the silent force that causes traders to abandon great decisions at the worst possible moment. And until you understand it, consistency will always feel just out of reach. Chapter 3. How to think without fear, hope, or emotional attachment. Picture yourself watching a single candle move up and down. Nothing unusual is happening. The market is simply doing what markets have always done. But inside your mind, a completely different story is unfolding. What if it keeps going without me? What if I lose everything I just gained? Maybe I should close the trade now. Maybe I should add more. The chart hasn't changed much. Your emotions have. This is where most traders unknowingly give away their greatest advantage. They don't lose because the market is unpredictable. They lose because every price movement feels personal. A small profit creates excitement. A small loss creates fear. A winning streak creates overconfidence. A losing streak creates self-doubt. Before long, decisions are no longer based on facts. They're based on feelings. And feelings change faster than the market ever will. Here's something worth thinking about. Fear and hope are opposite emotions, but they often produce the same mistake. Fear makes you exit a great trade too early because you're afraid to lose what you've gained. Hope makes you hold a bad trade too long because you're afraid to accept reality. Different emotions, same result. Poor decisions. Now imagine a firefighter entering a burning building. They don't stop in the middle of the rescue to panic about every sound they hear. They rely on training, preparation, and clear procedures because emotions alone cannot guide life or death decisions. Trading demands a similar mindset. The goal isn't to eliminate emotion. That's impossible. You're human. The goal is to stop allowing emotion to become the decision maker. There's a powerful difference between noticing fear and obeying it. Professional performers in every field understand this. A surgeon still feels pressure before an operation. An athlete still feels nerves before a championship. A business owner still feels uncertainty before making a major investment. The difference is simple. They don't wait to feel fearless before taking disciplined action. They act according to their preparation. That's the habit every trader must develop. Instead of asking, "How do I feel about this trade?" ask, "Does this trade match my plan?" Instead of asking, "What if I'm wrong?" ask, "Have I managed my risk?" Those questions quietly shift your attention from emotion to execution, and that shift changes everything. Another hidden trap is becoming emotionally attached to being right. The ego loves certainty. It wants every prediction to prove your intelligence. It wants every winning trade to validate your identity. But the market has no interest in protecting your ego. It rewards flexibility. The strongest traders aren't stubborn. They're adaptable. When new information appears, they adjust without seeing it as a personal defeat. They understand that changing your mind isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack on a long journey. At first, you barely notice the weight, but mile after mile, it slows every step. Emotional attachment works the same way. Every trade becomes heavier because you're carrying expectations, pride, fear, and the need to be right. The moment you put that weight down, something changes. You begin to see opportunities more clearly. You become patient enough to wait, confident enough to walk away, disciplined enough to accept uncertainty without fighting it. Ironically, that's when consistency starts to appear. Not because the market became easier, but because your mind became quieter. And once your emotions stop controlling your decisions, one final transformation becomes possible. It's the shift from chasing profitable trades to becoming the kind of person who naturally makes profitable decisions over and over again. That final transformation is where lasting success truly begins. Chapter 4. Becoming the trader who trusts the process, not the outcome. Imagine planting a seed today and digging it up tomorrow just to see if it's growing. It sounds ridiculous, yet that is exactly how many traders approach the market. They make one decision, immediately judge it by the result, and then change everything based on a single outcome. Real growth doesn't work that way. Neither does consistent trading. The market will never reward you simply because you deserve to win. It doesn't know your experience, your effort, or your intentions. It only offers opportunities. Your job is not to control the outcome. Your job is to control your response. That is the mindset that separates temporary success from lasting consistency. Think about the strongest tree in a forest. It didn't become strong because every day was calm. It became strong because it survived storms, adapted to changing seasons, and continued growing despite conditions it couldn't control. Great traders are built the same way. Every loss teaches patience. Every mistake teaches awareness. Every disciplined decision strengthens character. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop measuring success by today's profit. You measure success by today's discipline. Did you follow your rules? Did you manage your risk? Did you remain patient? Did you stay emotionally balanced? If the answer is yes, then you've already won something far more valuable than money. You've strengthened the habits that create money over the long run. This is where most people misunderstand consistency. They believe consistency means winning every week. It doesn't. Consistency means behaving the same way regardless of whether the previous trade was a winner or a loser. Your standards don't change, your rules don't change, your discipline doesn't change, because your identity doesn't change. When your identity becomes stronger than your emotions, the market loses its power to manipulate your decisions. Picture a captain sailing across the ocean. He cannot command the wind, he cannot stop the waves, he cannot predict every storm, but he can adjust the sails. He can stay on course, he can remain calm while others panic. Trading is no different. You cannot control volatility, you cannot control unexpected news, you cannot control the next candle, but you can always control your preparation, your patience, and your response. And those are the only things that truly belong to you. Here's the greatest lesson of all. Profitable traders aren't extraordinary because they discovered a secret indicator or a magical strategy. They're extraordinary because they stopped expecting certainty from an uncertain world. They accepted that losses are part of the journey. They understood that confidence comes from preparation, not prediction. They realized that discipline is more valuable than excitement. And they learned that every single trade is only one page in a much larger story. So the question is no longer, will this trade make me money? The better question is, will this decision make me a better trader? Because profits come and go, markets rise and fall, opportunities appear and disappear, but the person you become through disciplined thinking stays with you forever. The moment you stop chasing perfect trades and start building an unshakable mindset, everything begins to change, not overnight, not by luck, but one disciplined decision at a time. And that's the real meaning of thinking like a profitable trader.